Good morning. Okay, I am here. I'm actually in Staunton, Virginia, working today, doing some business, and we're going to go through the Sunday Social Security Roundup for last week. That would be April 1st to April 6th. Let's see. Okay, so of course we did last week's Roundup, and that was put out a day late because of my puppy issue. Also on that day, April 1st, so that might be Monday, since I was belated, there was another video. This one was about how in some instances, if you're going to be denied at step 1 of the sequential evaluation process due to working over SGA, it is an example of a kind of work that is over SGA that you can still get it changed to not being SGA based on it being subsidized. And there's a form for that, and we go into that a little bit. That's not going to be most people, by the way, but it does apply to some. So it's worth it for those that it applies to. On the 2nd of April. Yeah, and I have to do a follow-up to this because someone asked a question. Can you cancel your SSI? Remember, that's SSI, not SSD, in particular, this particular video. And this discusses what to do, how you can, and touches on the whys. Some people would choose to do that. But a viewer did ask me to really go into some of the whys because she didn't understand. I don't know if she listened to the whole thing, but nonetheless, I will do something about that. And I can go into some of the whys that I know of that people have chosen to cancel SSI. On the 3rd, this is mostly for people who are filing anew and how they can go forward and get a protective filing while they're trying to get all their stuff together to do the full filing. It's all about the protective filing. On the 4th, April 4th, oh yeah, it was about an SSA announcement about they're doing some improvements to the telehelp service phone number that is used largely by representative payees. That would be, there's institutional representative payees, but also mostly family members who handle the SS benefits for their family members, whether it's Social Security, retirement, disability, or SSI. But this telehealth number is also for appointed representatives such as myself. I think they mentioned social workers and advocates, generally speaking. And it's, some of the bad habits, some of the phone operators were exhibiting to make their lives easier and not provide such a good service for the people that called in. So that is changing apparently very soon. And I believe that's probably due to the new SSA commissioner. Friday for a low review, of course. This was, so this is Friday, April 5th. Massachusetts mother that steals $60,000 from her child and what went on there. And then Saturday, April 6th, we had step 4 of the 5 steps of a sequential evaluation process. If you go to if you were to watch that, tagged on the end of it, I believe is a short video on all 5 steps. So while the step 4 is going to be in detail here, all the 5 steps are attached at the end. And that is actually a whole separate video as well, if you prefer it that way. But that's just to keep people tied in. If they're like, okay, I see step 2, but what was that step 2 again? You're going to see them at the end. Okay, that's it for last week, guys. I think I'm going to be in North Carolina for a day or 2, and then back to Pennsylvania. So anyway, we're doing a lot of traveling. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye. So you just listened to the week's roundup of all 7 days right behind us and what those video tips were. Are you concerned if you didn't necessarily catch the ones from the week prior to that? Don't worry, we're going to attach it right here. Have a great week, guys. Bye. Good morning. It's Monday. I missed the Sunday Social Security roundup, giving the list of videos that came out the prior week. So I am doing that now, a little late. Happy day after Easter. I hope it was memorable for all of you who are fortunate enough to find it meaningful. As some of you might know, I didn't end up coming in here because I had my last day with my German Shepherd, Elsa. So in fact, I'm keeping myself busy right now. I have her all ready and comfortable and well fed, and the vet is on his way. So I can't really focus on work. So I thought I would just get this out there for you, and get that off my plate, so to speak, and then push on to a great week. So here we go. So we had last Sunday's roundup, of course. And so we're talking about the week of March 24th would be last Sunday till March 31st. Okay. Which was yesterday and was Easter Sunday. Okay. So on the 25th, we talked about, oh yeah, the announcement by the SSA about some overpayment practices changes. Really good stuff. I would say the biggest one of merit is the fact that default withholdings to pay back overpayments is changing from 100% to 10%. That's pretty big. On the next day, Tuesday, March 26th, we had, this was kind of a follow-up to a much older, like in the last year, but discussion about the non-medical review letters or messages that people are getting when it appears their case is wrapping up at the initial or reconsideration levels, I believe. Normally with the ALJ levels, you get that ALJ decision that tells you you passed the medical portion. And then, of course, what you might not know, may or may not know, is that, of course, then it goes for the non-medical at home, but that's generally a formality. Okay, so on initial and recon, people get the non-medical review. It'll probably take 2 to 4 weeks, that letter. And common thought is, amongst us, that that letter is supposed to mean you prevailed on the medical, because there would be no reason to go to non-medical. But we're seeing all sorts of errors in that. That seems to be errors by the SSA. So I leave you with that consideration. You could take a listen. Okay, the next day on the 27th, this ended up being, wow, very, very well taken, I guess. Although some people maybe didn't like it, but it was the announcement that had just come out. I actually got my hands on it the day before it came out, through some wonderful connections in that regard. And it's about another SSI rule that affects all SSI beneficiaries. And when I say all, I mean it can affect all. It depends on what those people choose to do or have as part of their regime. But basically, it had to do with the food. It's big for a lot of people that could use help and have maybe a way of getting a little bit of help without it hitting them in the wallet. The next day, March 28th, it was just a little share because it was tax time. And I don't know if y'all have gotten your taxes done. I actually did get mine done, except for my locals, and made sure my family did as well. I can't stand waiting to the last minute. I lose sleep. So sometimes you just have to give yourself a deadline way in advance, then you don't have to worry so long. This one concerned, since there's so many disabled people or people claiming disability, that have to have a few dollars coming in and are able to do something, they just can't work full time. They do little self-employment giggers. It could be house sitting. It could be dog sitting. It could be Uber driving. All those things are considered self-employed, and AKA being a gigger. And I've come across many who don't know that that is what you are. And you, as a business, then can write off business expenses related to all the functioning of what you do. So we go into what those are because everyone will have at least one or two of those business expenses, guaranteed. So that can help you get below SGA. If you're fighting to make enough, but you got to stay below SGA, you tip over SGA, you subtract those business expenses, you're under SGA. Okay, so take a look, see there if that happens to be something you are interested in doing or are doing. March 28th. Oh yeah, so two things came out apparently. Normally this is inadvertent. Oh, we did a follow-up to the announcement that the overpayment mandatory 100% was changing to 10%. Then came out the announcement that it was going to happen right away, no delay, except that it's not going to be automated right away because they have to have their little coders do things, right? Change forms, all that kind of stuff. So this little share was something that was provided to me about how people can go about fixing theirs right now and not waiting for that automation to take place, which could take, how much did they say? I think they said months. I don't know if they got more specific than that. So that's how you can do that today if you want, if the shoe fits. March 29th was our fraud law review, as always, on Friday. And this one concerned a Connecticut gentleman who, this one is good. He actually tricked SSA staffers and made a lot of money. Eventually he got caught though, which is the beauty of that. March 30th, we have that was Saturday. Step 3 of the sequential evaluation process. As you may know, there are 5 steps. We go through steps 1 and 2 the previous Saturdays. And I think the Saturday before that is the whole 5-step roundup. Although I think at the end of this, at the end of the explanation of step 3, we pop in the 5 steps so that you don't necessarily have to go look for it if you want to make sure you're covering all your steps. April 1st is today. Oh, you guys will see this one soon, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Yeah, so that's it. We didn't have the Sunday roundup because I wasn't up to it. We had a lot going on anyway with Easter, and we have company, and my husband had to leave Easter to go back to work because we have to put him in a hotel. We have to put him in a hotel so he doesn't have to commute 2.5 hours, all this time. Okay, that's it. Happy belated Easter, everybody. I hope it's a good springtime for you. I'm looking forward to spring, trying to get some stuff done around here. And I'm going to head out now for my challenge of the day, which I explained to you earlier with my Elsa. I'll talk to you later.